Hello my beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tracell. This is Face Meets Tracell, the YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. We love new people over here. We're all about the glitz, the glamour, the love is blind drama as well. If that is what you're into, you like what I like what you like, then please subscribe to my channel and click the bell notification so you will be notified first whenever I upload a new video. How you like me? Y'all, let's jump into it. This is the final episode of my Love is Blind thing. Right? Y'all, shake. Like, we knew you were trash. We knew. You didn't have to tell us. We knew. But you decided to tell us anyway. You wanted us to be 110% sure that you were a douchebag, and you definitely did that. Immediately, straight off the bat, I asked them how did they feel after the show. Immediately, the first thing out of his mouth was, he's scared of how they were edited. Sir, you cannot cry bad edit when you're a douchebag in real life. You took over for Shayne. In my last video, in my video before that, I was talking about how Shayne is she will be. Still agree, still 1000% agree. And now it's for like newer reasons, like it's been solidified. But sir, you are a trash bag. I don't even know what look I'm gonna do today, but I know I have to give y'all a look because my last two episodes I didn't give y'all a look because I was so busy with the juicy gossip. But today I'm giving y'all a look. And I think I'll just use this palette. This is the To Bake Glue Cosmetics Sun, Sea and Sand palette. I would have used this on my channel a few times. I absolutely love this palette and I love the company. This is what it looks like. It's really pretty and I can get like variations from it, and that's why I want to use it. My overall consensus is Shake is a douchebag. Deep Tea and Kyle, we didn't even know they had a thing in the pods. I did not know he was her number 2. But he went for Shayne and he's freaking delusional. Let's just be, I didn't say that in my last 2 episodes, but he is delusional. Like, how many times does this woman have to tell you no? How many times does she have to tell you, I don't want you, this thing is missing for me? How many times does she have to tell you that for you to say, well, okay, I'm gonna let you go? You were so caught up in the fact that you thought she was hot when you saw her, which made everything better because you had good communication in the pods, and the religion thing was not an issue for you, but it was clearly an issue for her, and you just ignored that entire thing because you were satisfied with what you had and you did not take into consideration her at all. Kyle is delusional, but still kind of nice. That Jesus thing, that God thing, that don't believe in God thing, that irritates me very much. So let's go from the top. They grilled Shayne about him gaslighting Natalie about the whole issue with him calling her another person's name. And I absolutely loved that he took ownership for that and he apologized for that. And he admitted that he was very immature. Y'all know I can't talk and do the brows, so let me just do the brows. This is not how I wanted my brows to be, but this is how it's coming out right now. It's giving me a hard time. We're just gonna work with it and leave it alone. Immediately they started grilling Shayne about how he called Natalie a wrong name, and I love that he took responsibility and he said it was not like him being a man. That is not what he wanted to portray, and he was really upset, and it was his biggest regret that he went into victim mode and he decided, like, you know, basically to gaslight her, and he accepted it and they called him out on it and he was like, yes, I was wrong for doing that, and I love a man that could take accountability. So you took accountability and we appreciate that. So then they started asking Shayne about how his communication was with Shayne and with Natalie, and like I said in my first episode, they did portray Natalie to be the more stable one, to be the more I don't want to say low energy because Natalie is a very high energy person, but they did portray her to be the stable one, the one that, you know, dependable and would make a good wife. And they did portray Shayne a bit like to be an airhead, and in the conversations he was having with them, he was asking Shayna more like, you know, well, what are you wearing? There was more sexual flirtation with Shayna than there was with Natalie. And I thought that, and I'm glad that they saw it as well. So it validates to me that I was not crazy. And Shayne made the comment that the show was about finding a wife, and then Shake had to butt in with his ship itself. Yeah, and Shake had to butt in about how the fact that the show is not necessarily about finding a wife. And so, like, what else is the show about then? If the show is not about finding a wife, he was trying to say that it's not about finding a wife, it's about finding love, and you know, and it's like not necessarily about skipping steps 4 through 25 or whatever. And I was like, and everybody was like, so that is exactly what the show is about. And I love that Vanessa told him that he was on the wrong show, and that's fine. And let's be honest, if you were on the wrong show, that is fine. I love that all the guys were roasting him. Basically, nobody was on his side because he's a douchebag. Like I said in the beginning, he is a douchebag. So then they started talking to Shayne about the fact that Shayna came in and was professing her love for him, even though she was already engaged to Kyle at this point. She had already said yes and was wearing Kyle's mother's ring. It was so unnecessary, and even Shayne said that. And then they asked Natalie how she felt about the situation, and she was like, oh, she felt betrayed, and it's fair. And you know what I also think is really condescending, even though Shayna is owning up to the fact that she did it's kind of like just to save face. I firmly 100,000% believe it's just to save face so that the world doesn't attack her. She told Shayna she felt betrayed because Shayna told Natalie that it was not that serious, and she was very you know, congratulatory about their relationship. And it turns out when she saw it with the world that you were basically trying to steal my man. And she was like, Natalie was so nice and pleasant about it. She was like, she just hated the fact that she was dishonest about it. And I was like, girl, that's what snakes in the grass do. That's what people who want your man, that's what they do. They pretend to be a friend, get close to him, and then they go. Granted, it was a very big day for Shayne. We kind of like disregard that. And he thought he was coming in to propose to the girl who he had chosen, and he basically got thrown for a loop. So we can't even like blame him entirely for that, because his reactions were honest, and he did have a connection with another girl. It's unfortunate that Natalie did not know about that connection, but the fact of the matter is he did have a connection, and Shayna was that girl. But Shayna let her pride get the better of her, and when he asked Natalie to be his girlfriend, which I honestly don't think that he should have done, and he admitted that he probably should not have done that either. When he asked Natalie to be his girlfriend, she took a back seat and she never told him how she felt. And this, even though she's telling him in the pods, at this point you are already engaged, and baby, you have a whole other man. So they talked to Shayna and Kyle next, obviously, and we all came down to the fact that Shayna should have said no. We agree 110%. You did not like this man. You should have said no. I said that from the very beginning. You did not like this man after he told you that he's an atheist. Your feelings for him went out the door, just like you did in Mexico. Baby, you should have said no. You shouldn't even make it to Mexico. But I think because, and Shake made this point, and he said people were on the show and maybe they just wanted to follow along the storyline. And I agree with Shake. And in that situation, I agree with Shake. I think that Shayna stayed on the show because she wanted to get some clout. I fully believe that. I support that rhetoric 100%. I think she wanted the storyline to continue, so she would get some airtime and eventually get some followers and get some fame. That's the only time I agreed with Shake. But all in all, Kyle was saying Shayna should have said no from the very beginning, and I think the world can agree that Shayna should have said no from the very beginning. Shayna also made a comment that she felt manipulated by Kyle giving her his mother's engagement ring. Now, I don't know if I want to agree or disagree with that. I get that it would be added pressure because now I have to say no to you and to your family heirloom. But babes, I think you're just looking for a way out. I think you're looking to like pass the blame onto anybody else. And honey, the blame is still 1000% on you. And I don't know how I feel about the guys, but I'm not great at doing smoky. I'm really not. But we're gonna continue anyway. I firmly believe she was just looking for clout, according to Shake. The one thing he said that actually made sense. Which makes me realize, like, so you are a bigger douche than I thought you were, because that is why you went onto the show. And because you made that one statement, it made me realize, okay, well, you knew you weren't into Indian girls before. So why did you like string Daisy along? Is it just because you want to be famous? So now we move on to the next love triangle. The Jarette, Mallory, Iyanna thing. Now you all know how I felt about Iyanna from the very beginning. Mallory can't touch her. Mallory's cute and all, but Iyanna is my babes. Iyanna is my babes. I went in a little too thick with the liner there. They obviously discussed the very inappropriate conversation that Jarette had with Mallory about her ring that Sal gave to her. He was like, oh, it's a joke, baby. I knew that. I went in too thick and all my eyeliner is on my eyelid. This is annoying. He was like, it's a joke. Honey, this is not a joke. That was not a joke. I honestly saw it as you trying to start shit between Sal and Mal, because you still had feelings for her, because let's not forget, this man bald. Now granted, he may have felt differently after that week in Cancun. Granted, I'm using my phone case to fan this damn liner so it could dry fast. Granted, he probably felt differently after that week in Cancun. He most definitely did. And it's evident that he does love Iyanna. I am not taking away from that either. But let's be very honest, that was not a joke. That was because you wanted to prove to her that she lost the better thing. That's what you were trying to do. You were trying to prove to her that she lost the better thing. And you didn't. Which is true, you didn't. Because Iyanna is 10 out of 10 gold stars across the board. That girl is a queen. But you and your pride wanted to prove to Mallory that she made the wrong decision. Now we all know that she made the wrong decision. We know that. You didn't have to rub it in her face. And Sal was talking with his chest a little too much. Like, so you are also. Sal kept going on and on about the fact that he thought it was inappropriate, and so we get it, but you did not have to shut her up like that. And it goes to show, because he did make a comment that in their entire relationship he did not feel heard, but then so you were also talking over her. So even though she may have been doing it to you, you were also doing it to her. And I don't know where you live, but two wrongs don't make a right. Because even in the reunion, when he was speaking to Jarette, she cut in and he was like, he's still talking. And he had to reword his sentence. And I was like, you reworded your sentence because you didn't want to look like a douche on TV. And you still ended up looking like a douche on TV. Do I think that they made the right decision to not get married? Absolutely, because I honestly did not think that they liked each other like that. I think when they came out, the attraction was not there like the way it was in the pods. And I'm glad that they did not get married. I am surprised that Sal was the one to say no and not Mallory, but she just went out on a limb as to choosing somebody who's different than her regular type, and it didn't work out for her, so stick to your type. But Jarette did apologize to Sal and Mallory did apologize to Iyanna, and they both admitted that the conversation should not have gone on for as long as it did, which was good. Obviously, Iyanna admitted that when she saw that they were together, and obviously they had a conversation about it, that conversation needed to happen. Because, I mean, you disrespected me on TV. Sal was just more about the fact that he was disrespected, and he was like judging the fact that, you know, it didn't seem as if she was very committed to the relationship at that point. So that's not something that you should say, because she actually said yes. You were the one who said no, and you give me very much machismo vibe, and I don't like it. So now we move on to starter Nick and Danielle. Now I did say that this girl was crazy, and I apologize for calling her crazy, because I hate when men call women crazy. So I don't want to be a woman that calls another woman crazy. She did let her insecurities get the better of her, and I understand it's because she was very stressed. They were planning a wedding in how much ever days, and you know, you had to make a decision as to if you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody that you literally just met. And I apologize for calling you crazy, girl, and I am so glad that you and Nick actually got married. I mean, I had no doubt that you all would. I apologize for calling you crazy, and I am so glad that you all are in couples counseling, because I do think that even though Nick is coming from a good place, I do think that he can be very condescending. He's very what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. He can be a little insulting. That's not the word I'm looking for, but that's what we're going with. He can be a little insulting, and that would hurt my feelings too. And you know what I also love? His family gave him, I believe it was his great grandmother's wedding ring. His uncle gave it to him, and he gave it to Danielle. I like them. They balance each other out. Hopefully they continue with therapy and their relationship will. I am going to say that the first set of people to have children might be Nick and Danielle. I was thinking that it would be Jarette and Iyanna, but I know that Iyanna was saying that she wants to do so many different things in terms of her schooling. Mallory and Salvador, we're back on them. Guys, Sal said no, Mal said yes. They did say at the end of it that they were willing to explore whether or not they wanted to continue the relationship. And they did ask them if they did try, and she said yes. They went out for coffee, and then they realized that the connection just was not there. And let's be fair, the connection was not there from the beginning, sis. It was not there. After you saw this man, the connection was there over the phone, over the speaker, through the wall, whatever it is y'all were doing. When you saw this man, you realized this is not the person that you pictured in your head, and you should have done like Shayne and dipped. I firmly believe that you were intent on giving this relationship maybe a year if he had said yes, and then you would have gotten divorced. Nick Lachey made mention that there was always an underlying thing with Salvador and Mallory. There was always like something that was going on behind the scenes. Both of them were just so quiet, and it's like, why are you so quiet? What are you hiding? That's literally how I felt about them. They were always hiding something. Like all of their fights, the majority of them, which I don't have an issue with, because you know, you don't want to make yourself look like a jack on national internet. It was very secretive. It gave me very much serial killer vibes. Kind of like they were scared to show how bad it could get on TV, but that was the point of the show. So in the midst of them discussing their thing, Shayne had to butt in, and everybody basically jumped on his throat. Well, not everybody. At this point, I think it was Jarette, because Shayne made mention that they were all being fake because they didn't want to discuss what actually happened off camera. I don't think they were being fake. I think Shayne just wanted to know like all the juicy gossip. He wanted to know, why did everybody not work out? Because everybody knew why his own didn't work out. And basically Jarette called him shallow, which he is. We're not gonna sideline that. And let's move on to who we go to everybody. So now it's Daty and Shayne. So they gave Shayne a chance to speak. Honestly, they should not have done that, but they did anyway. And as expected, he made himself look like a bigger than he already did. He was saying basically he was equating a marriage to a big purchase, and that he needed to be very, very 100% sure about this big purchase. It's the ultimate purchase. Vanessa told him this was not the show for you, because this show was strictly a connection-based type of show. And then he made the comment that he wasn't attracted to any of the girls on this stage. Granted, they're all beautiful. He said this. They're all beautiful, but he's not attracted to anybody else except Vanessa. Shayne is the definition of foot and mouth disease. And I am so glad that Nick Lachey didn't even react to that, because Shayne is a nobody. Shake is a nobody. He does not deserve a reaction. Literally, when you watch the faces of all of the people that was on the show, they were like, oh my god, Shake, please shut up. I am in awe of the audacity of this man that they call Shake. I really am in awe of him. I saw all of the Love is Blurry memes. I 100% thought that the Love is Blurry memes were all because of Shayna, basically like making reference to the fact that she was always squinting, until I watched the reunion and I was like, oh, this is not about Shayna at all. Shake made the comment that he wanted it to not be Love is Blind, but Love is Blurry, which further validated Vanessa's point, which was basically saying, sir, this is the wrong show for you. And we all agree that this was the wrong show for you. Everybody was just cringing when Shake was speaking, and they were all just waiting for him to stop speaking. He did not deserve deep tea, like not even in the slightest way. And I love that his mother was on his side. I said that in one of my last videos as well. He was just so hell-bent on throwing himself a pity party. Danielle made a comment about how beautiful Deep Tea is like as a person. She was making reference to how she looked, and she was like, you know, she looks so good tonight and she's even better on the inside. And like, you know, they called her a goddess, and Shake was like, yes, she's the goddess and I'm the villain. And it was like, sir, nobody even said that. We didn't even say that. I love that Iyanna told him that he needed to go see a therapist to learn how to navigate relationships as a narcissist, because I do believe that he is a narcissist. He thinks his reality is everybody else's reality and that everybody should think like him or does think like him. And it's kind of scary. And to be very honest, I wrote down in my notes, because y'all know I love my notes, that his family should disown him. But what I did not know was that Deep Tea and Kyle had a connection in the pods. Nobody knew that. And it's like, they didn't even show us that. It would have made it a lot more interesting. Why wouldn't we want to see that Deep Tea and Kyle, let us see that she had other options, and let's see how she felt about somebody who doesn't believe in the traditional Christian God, because she is Hindu and they don't believe in Jesus as Lord and Savior the way Christians do. You know, we want to see the drama. That's what we're here for. We are here for the drama, Netflix, and y'all take away some of the drama from us. I'm gonna do mascara, and this is the Benefit Cosmetics Ruler Lash. Shake is a waste of time, a waste of space. I am so sorry for his family. I am sorry that he is embarrassing you all like this on the national internet. I love that Deep Tea told him it's okay if he was not attracted to her because there are other people who are. It's just how he went about saying it. And I agree. I went on everyone's social media, and it seems to me that Shayna and Deep Tea are friends. With that friendship, I was like, okay, that's a little strange, but okay, we'll accept it. But what was really strange, and why it just solidified that Shayna is a clout chaser for me, and she took a picture on Shake's shoulders. Shayna seems to be the girl that likes to throw the rock and hide her hand. And that's what I get from her. And I don't like it. She loves to throw the rock and then come back and say, oh my gosh, did it hit you? I'm sorry. We all knew that he asked Deep Tea that question, but you have a big picture of you and Deeps on your profile, and it's for likes, because you know that she was one of the most likable people coming out, if not the most likable person coming out of this season, and you wanted to portray that you were friends with her. That's why you have that picture with you and Deep Tea on your profile, because in the same breath you cannot say that I am your friend, and then the guy that was so degrading to you, so disparaging of you and berating you on national internet, the same thing that he was basically giving me shit about, you wanted to prove that you fit that criteria. You needed validation so bad that you went to the guy who I don't want to say hate, because we don't know if she hates him, but I extremely dislike. That makes sense. You as a friend, Shayna is shit. Shayna will be shit. And that's all I'm gonna have to say. She's just shit. So I did my lips off camera. My go-to Bennett and Entangle all by Today Glow Cosmetics. My face was usual. I mixed my foundations for my base. My highlight was the Fenty Beauty foundation as well as the Infallible Modern concealers in the shade 415 and 360. My powders were the Sasha Buttercup powder and Tobago Cosmetics Cocoa in Mud Breeze. And I didn't use much of GP, just a little for my blush, but it wasn't this. It was eyeshadow that I used for my blush. But yeah, Shayne and Shit, Kyle said that the only thing that he regretted was that he didn't put more into his situation with Deep Tea. These are the takeaways from it. So I wouldn't doubt if Deep Tea and Kyle ended up dating. Shayne and Natalie said that they tried afterwards and it just didn't work out. Mallory and Salvador also said that they tried. Natalie seems to be very reserved, and it kind of gives me a shady vibe as well sometimes, because there was a point where Shayne was saying he understands that he is like 90% to blame for a lot of their arguments, but Natalie is also not blameless, but she would not own up to the fact that she's not blameless. So there's that. And Iyanna, Jarette, absolutely love and adore them. Nick and Danielle, I love Nick, but he's a starter, and I'm happy for them. They literally went through falling in love, being all lovey-dovey, mushy-washy. Then they had a rough patch where her insecurities were just getting the better of their relationship. They had to sort out their ish. They said yes to get married, and now they're in couples counseling to work on their communication with it, which is amazing, and I love that for them. So yeah, who did I miss? Shayna, shit, Deepti, a goddess. Mallory, very quiet, and it makes me think like she's a snake in the grass, and you all know I don't like snakes in the grass. I don't like that. I don't like people who pretend to be one thing on camera or like around certain people, and then when they go behind closed doors they're a completely different person, and that's the vibe that I get from both her and Salvador. So but yeah, overall Love is Blind season 2 was top tier, and I 100% recommend it. But yeah, so I can't wait to see After the Altar, you know, in 2 years, like how Lauren and Cam did their After the Altar. I hope they do this in 1 year though. I hope they don't wait 2 years. I hope they do it in 1 year for the After the Altar for their anniversary party. So yeah, it might be 2 years, because remember they would have filmed this like a year ago, so they would have already made their year technically. So yeah, we'll see. Anyway, I love you guys. I hope y'all enjoyed listening to me ramble about Love is Blind. I love this look. Surprisingly, I love how it turned out overall. I think I look really cute, and I'm ready to be outside. I took out my braids, so this is the end result. I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you hi to my new subscribers. I have a few new subscribers. Hi. Thank you for coming to my channel. I hope you enjoy the content. If you're looking for two more videos to watch, I have 2 of them right here for you. I love you guys. Stay safe and stay sweet. We are still in a pandemic. I'll see you all at the next one.